No, remember how I was telling you about the You can, yeah. It's about those are news reports from when the remember the explosion of the ship the Maine. I wanted to show you sort of like these news reports and so how they were reporting because that's going to become important because I'm going to ask you a few questions on that. What? No, it's not really for notes, but we're gonna read it through. So I'm gonna show this to you. Actually, I'll just read it. I'll actually read it, and you just follow along, and then we're gonna discuss it. All right. So everybody, well, actually, if I don't think you're paying attention though, I'll make someone read. But I'll read it for now. Have you passed them all out yet? No.
If that works.
Is that everyone? Okay. Seems like several people on it.
Jordan and Aaron.
Oh, you didn't give it to them.
Yeah.
Is it like information or?
I want to show you just sort of how the style of this journalism is. Okay. All right, sit down. Okay, give me a back. Okay. So everybody, not right now. When we're done reading through this.
Why can't I just read it myself?
All right, so I'm going to start off here. The first article here, it's from the New York Journal, the New York Journal. It starts off: the destruction of the warship Maine was the work of an enemy. Assistant Secretary Roosevelt convinced the explosion of the warship was not an accident. The journal offers $50,000 reward for the conviction of the criminals who sent 258 American sailors to their death. Naval officers unanimous that the ship was destroyed on purpose. Naval officers think the Maine was destroyed by a Spanish mine. George Eugene Bryson, the journal's special correspondent at Havana, cables that it is the secret opinion of many Spaniards in the Cuban capital that the Maine was destroyed and 258 men killed by means of marine mine or fixed torpedo. This is the opinion of several American naval authorities. The Spaniards, it is believed, arranged to have the Maine anchored over one of the harbor mines. Wires connected the mines with a magazine, and it is thought that the explosion was caused by sending...
I have to give one.
Oh, okay.
You were not here when all this happened. It just happened.
Alright, here you go.
No,
Where was I now? About the mine. Wires were connected to the mine with a magazine, and it was thought that the explosion was caused by sending an electric current through the wire. If this can be proved, but the brutal nature of the Spaniards will be shown that the fact that they waited to spring the mine after all the men had retired for the night. The Maltese cross in the picture shows where the mine may have been fired. Okay, there was a picture that had accompanied the original article. Mine or a sunken torpedo believed to have been the weapon used against the American man-of-war. Officer and men tell thrilling stories of being blown into the air amid a mass of shattered steel and explosive shells. Survivors brought the key to West scout the idea of accident. Spanish officials protest too much. Our cabinet orders a search inquiry. Journal sends divers to Havana to report upon conditions of the wreck. Was the vessel anchored over a mine? Assistant Secretary of the Navy Theodore Roosevelt says he is convinced that the destruction of the Maine in Havana Harbor was not an accident. Oh, okay. That's sort of a repeat of what it said earlier. Anyway, and the source there is from the New York Journal, February 17th, 1898. And here's another one. This other article now is from the New York Times around the same time. Divers to find Maine's hull will decide. Divers to find whether the force of the explosion was from the exterior or interior, meaning she was afloat for an hour. Spontaneous combustion in coal bunkers a frequent peril to magazines of warships. Hard to blow up the magazine. Washington, February 16th. After a day of intensive excitement at the Navy Department and elsewhere, growing out of the destruction of the battleship Maine in Havana Harbor last night, the situation at sundown after the exchange of a number of cablegrams between Washington and Havana can be summed up in words of Secretary Long, who, when asked as he was about to depart for the day, whether he had reason to suspect the disaster was the work of the enemy, replied, "I do not, in that I am influenced by the fact that Captain Sigsbee has not yet reported to the Navy Department on the cause. He is evidently waiting to write a full report. So long as he does not express himself, I certainly cannot. I should think that from indications, however, that there was an accident, that the magazine exploded. How that can be about, I do not know. For the present, at least, no other warships have been sent to Havana. Captain Shuley, who has been experienced with such a large and complicated machines of war as the New York, did not entertain the idea that the ship had been destroyed by design. He had found that with frequent and very careful inspection, fire would sometimes be generated in coal bunkers, and he told of such a fire on board the New York close to the magazine, and so hot that the heat had blistered the steel partition between the fire and ammunition before the bunkers and magazine were flooded. He was not prepared to believe that the Spanish or Cubans in Havana were supplied with either the information or the application necessary to enable them to make so complicated work, demolition, while the Maine was under guard. Yes. Oh, you were raising your hand.
I was searching.
Okay. And then that's February 17, 1898. So you will see that both of these are actually from the same date. Also, notice on the first one it says purchased by William Randolph Hearst in 1895, because he was one of the major journalists, and he sort of was big, went behind this. Yeah, nice. So what I want to do now is we're going to sort of have a discussion, but I want to try it this way. This is a method I've been looking into. It's called a Socratic seminar. But first, I need everyone to get up and we're going to move the desks.
Into a circle?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
It's obvious.
Do I have to
Can we get into
I want to try everyone to participate as much as you can. All right. Yeah. Well, you've done this before, Scott?
What?
Done this before?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Can everyone stand up for a minute and get out of your seats? We're going to move these desks around. Actually, we're going to make two circles. An inner and outer circle.
Can I be in outer circle there if you're
Sure. Hey, everybody stand up. Excuse me. All right, get out of the seats and move them into a circle. Hey, what are you doing?
Franco. Trying something.
Franco.
Franco.
These desks are just
I talked to my mom.
We're gonna connect it like that.
I want to be an outer circle.
Then you have to connect to me.
we'll have to leave you for it.
Try it for now. 7 and 8 equals.
So we'll have 7 on one side and 8 on the other. Okay.
Here. Yeah, we'll be part of the 8.
Okay, you guys are the outer circle now. So you guys are the inner circle.
Now that was the creepiest part of my book.
How many are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What am I going to be?
I'm on here. Yeah, Kelly, you can be inside. And then you just move up here. And then you sit over here. On one of the this is hard to see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you guys are all. Alright, so here's the goal of what we're gonna do here. I have a few questions for you then. Alright, first question. I think I might write one on the board. First question is, I want to discuss
Guys, wait, this isn't really it's like an inner circle and then an inner circle.
Anyway, so look through these things. I want these people on the inside to discuss what are the differences in tone between the two articles. And you guys on the outside, I want you to sort of pay attention to what they're saying. We're gonna switch soon, but just sort of like listen to what they're saying. It's like 3 minutes you have to move. All right. How about let's just, since Scott seems to know what he's talking about, let's start the discussion with Scott. Scott, what do you think is the are the differences in tones between the two articles?
Well, I think the differences in tones are like one seems more serious, one seems kind of devastating.
Does everyone else agree, or does anyone else have any important? See, the idea here is to get everybody to sort of participate in a discussion. So he said that you said that what, one's more serious than the other?
One's more serious than the other one, and the other is more devastating.
Do you all agree, or does anyone disagree?
What?
With what he said?
He said more informational.
He said that one of them is more serious than the other, and one of them is more informational. Which one's more informational?
The other one that, the second article, Document B in New York Times, is the more informational one and is less serious. The one that came from the New York Journal, is more serious and kind of gives less details and just kind of tells you what went on, and then says that'll give you $50,000 reward.
Okay, can you give some more examples from the article of why you think the second one's more informative?
Well, on the second one, it says, it kind of gives you dialogue at first. It says main goal will decide, and it says divers find whatever the force of explosion was to the deterioration was in for an hour. And then it says, this one says, spontaneous combustion of full bunkers bunkers a frequent peril to the magazine of warship hard blow the magazine.
Alright, does anyone else have anything? What do you think of what he said? Do you agree or do you disagree, or do you have any other input you'd like to add?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Why? You guys are mostly just paying attention. These people are kind of leading the discussion. I think you might be able to interject if you have something to specifically add. But yeah, okay. You agree? Would you elaborate on that?
What do you say?
What he said? Okay. Well, what do you notice a different in tone in the articles, like sort of a different style of writing or a different goal?
Well, yeah. The first one is saying that, it kind of touches on who died and stuff. And the first one is just saying the first thing it says is the journal offers a $50,000 reward for the conviction of criminals who sent 258 American soldiers to their death. And then the second one says, it just kind of explains how they died and stuff. And then I think later on the bottom, see, this one doesn't even say anything about the $50,000 reward. It's just saying how they died, how many died, and I think that's why the difference in tones.
Do the articles agree with each other on facts?
No, not very much, because the second article is more saying that it could have been an accident really much, because it could have been an accident because the whole combustion could have lit up the torpedo and could blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it says mine or sunken torpedo, so it could have blown up a torpedo or a missile could have blown up inside of it. Blown up, and that's what it's trying to say. Like it could have been an accident.
Now look at the use of language, though. Do you notice anything about the use of language, particularly in the first article? But you and everybody else be looking at the article. Specifically, I'm asking, do you see any words that sort of would elicit an emotional response?
Yeah, assistant secretary of the Navy.
Wait, how is that one? Okay, I'll go with it. Okay, why do you say that?
Because it's like they're trying to use it again for to say that it was on purpose. They don't think it was an accident. And then on the other one it says
I think they both mentioned Roosevelt.
yeah, but the other one says Roosevelt is now thinking it's like an accident.
Do you all agree, or do you have another take? Does anyone have another take on this? Come on, someone else can speak up. Michael, what do you think? How about Hannah? What do you think? Are there any words in the first article that sort of stand out as sort of something that would give you an emotional response?
No.
No?
Oh.
Yeah, you got some stuff?
Yeah, it says secret opinion.
Secret opinion?
Yeah.
Okay. In what context?
Like the what paragraph is it?
Yeah, good. Point to the paragraph this time, because that's another.
It's in the first paragraph in the first sentence.
Okay. First paragraph, first sentence of the first article.
Yeah.
So you said
So like after it says naval officers think the main was destroyed by Spanish mine. It's the first sentence.
Okay.
Second line down.
Alright. Alright. And so you think that will sort of now, alright. Do you think there's any exaggeration or any sort of use of language to sort of make things seem worse than they are?
Oh yeah, the officer and men telling thrilling stories of being blown into the air, into the air amid a mass of shattered steel and exploding shells. Survivors brought to the key West Scout and the idea of that sentence.
Alright, cool. Now let me ask someone else in this group other than Scott. Why do you think they're using that type of language? Hannah.
Probably just to kill us.
How about how do you say it? What do you think? Okay, so he was pointing out how they sort of had this exaggeration of like sailors being blown to the sky, essentially, something like that.
Yeah,
I was wondering why. I was asking, why do you think they're using this type of language?
Exaggerate it. Not to show that it's like to show what's happening.
Okay. Alright.
Well, and to make it seem more gory and more.
No,
Alright.
I don't think so.
Okay. I think you're onto a good track. Alright. You said you think it seems more gory.
Yeah, it seems more gory or more violence, which really could not happen.
And so again, I'll go back to those. You then see a difference then between these tones in the first and second article. Like, does the second article use the same type of thing as that?
No.
Okay. And so what conclusion would you draw from that?
I would draw from this article is trying to tell you that it was horrible and more. They're trying to make it seem worse.
That's the first one article, right?
Yeah, the first article is trying to make it seem worse.
Mm-hmm.
And the second article is just really giving you information, you know, what happened, how many people died, how they died, how it might have been an accident on purpose, like this one's exaggerating that it would be on purpose.
Alright. Alright. And so, okay, you said, you talked about them being on purpose. And then where's the second one?
Oh, the second one over here, it's not really doing anything, it's not really saying it's on purpose, it's saying that it could be an accident. It's not really exaggerating, it's on purpose. The first one is exaggerating, it's on purpose.
So would you say one is more truthful than another?
No, I'd say that the other one is more truthful.
Well, okay, I meant if one article is more truthful than anything else. So yeah, you're saying that the second one's more truthful, or?
Yeah, the second one is more truthful.
Okay. Alright. Okay, how about this? Now, everybody switch desks now. We're gonna ask these other people now what they think. And I hope you were paying attention to some of the things mostly Scott was saying.
I was paying attention the whole time.
I disagree with you trying to make it work.
Okay, actually, alright then. Oh wait, you can go back up there now. We're switching desks. Or we're switching places. No, sit up. Get up and sit where. Oh, hey. Okay. It's called
I don't know what I will, but I don't want to move my
we're discussing this article here. This is Hannah. Alright, okay, Hannah's in the observer group, so she hasn't really been here.
What is that thing on the computer?
That's my camera. I have to record this for my person. Hey, would you guys sit down? Everyone has to get. Hey guys, sit down. Which group?
That's immature.
Alright, okay. Aaron, sit down right here. Right here, right?
Really?
Alright,
Yeah,
Aaron. So Aaron,
right here.
so Aaron, you had something you wanted to say? You had something you wanted to say? Like,
I want this thing.
okay.
Okay, I said that I disagree with Scott saying that I was trying to make it more. Look at it.
Okay, what do you think?
I think that he was just trying to like kind of exaggerate his statement, or he was trying to I don't know, just
Because it'd be weird.
Okay, well, why do you think it was exaggerated then?
Mr. Fetter said that's her sense.
Oh, alright.
okay, hang on. Where was it again? Where did he say the thing he missed or work?
Oh, I don't know, what were you just saying?
Where like the sky and stuff.
Yeah, towards left of the sky, okay.
Yeah, I think that he was trying to trying to get like people to think that like I don't know.
Alright, Jordan, you have something to say?
Just I don't think he was trying to make more words.
Well, the tone, one is like, in fact, the last sentence says that, not a single fact to the contrary is introduced. It shows that they're saying such and such, but it's probably not really true because there's another article that says it was an accident. Plus, the money, that's a lot of money. And so the money is tying people who are poor, who want money, and who are greedy. And those people are like, well, if I can get money off of this, it's definitely true. And the other article is not doing anything. So it was an accident. So they're more or less going to believe it because of the tone, the way it just says it.
Alright, I think you're on something. Do you agree? Okay, do you have something to add to that? Like, nope. You specifically tone?
I agree, nope. But I don't know.
Alright. Well, okay, then let's go off that train of thought. Let's go. You're starting on something. You said it had to do with the tone, sort of convincing people to do this.
The way it says it, it's force split. The Spaniards destroyed that ship. We have to do something. That's the
Yes.
type of tone they use.
I think she started to.
Everything about this, document A says the Maine was destroyed by the Spaniards.
Yes.
In the other document,
Yeah, you asked her a
document
question.
B,
I have a question for you. How did you get all this? Because seriously, you read the whole time in your book.
I pay more attention than you think.
Yeah, I was only listening to that.
Alright, and what did you do? And then, can you contrast that with the second article?
And the second article is a calm. It says, no, it was an accident. This is possible. The coal in the furnace, which coal back then was used to heat all ships and keep them going. So, and all ships, warships have a magazine. And the magazine is where they store all their ammunition. And so it is. So they're saying it's possible that something went wrong with the coal area and it heated up the magazine and a spark hit the magazine and boom.
Alright.
So they're more of a calm. It's not the Spaniards' fault. It was an accident. And the other is the Spaniards did this. We have to destroy them.
Alright. So it seems like she's sort of just paying attention to the these different aspects of the articles.
I guess I was.
Danny.
Yep.
Do you have anything to add?
No, I'm trying with her because like how one of them being, the other one was like, no, this could have happened and it was like in a softer tone, I guess. But the ones like the Spaniards did this, I think they wanted to do something to Spanish.
Yeah.
They wanted to go with the war.
Exactly. So so what's the goal then of each article?
I guess persuade people to either go fight them or it's an accident.
Alright.
Say the Spaniards did this or it could be an accident.
Alright. How about Aaron? Do you have any other ideas?
Yeah, I guess I kind of agree with Jordan.
Alright. Why?
Because just the way she kind of like said her thing, like how you could tell like they were kind of yelling it out, trying to force out that it was on purpose, and then how the other people were like, no, the Spaniards they didn't do this. It was an accident. This kind of thing happened. And it was just an accident. And then
Alright. Okay, good.
Don't forget the money.
The money?
Works.
So are you saying the money is like a
They're
motivation?
bribing
Or?
people to think. They're essentially bribing people to go fight a war because of this. Because I saw some, I think I was noticing a lot of money. They're bribing people in a way that's not easily recognized.
Now, do you think one of these articles is more honest journalism than the other?
The New York Times is more honest.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. I have to.
It's more of a, it was an accident. These things happen. There is no real proof that the Spaniards did that, and there is more proof that it was an accident.
Alright, good. Does anyone else agree, disagree, or have anything else to say about?
Or agree to disagree.
You agree, disagree? You actually agree, disagree?
No.
Escape the peace. Yes.
oh no, I was just that.
He was waiting for me to.
No, I thought. Yes, to the camera.
Wait, there's a camera?
Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I knew, but it's staring at the back of your head.
Don't worry. You couldn't see what you turned around. Now it doesn't look like.
Did you see the
Alright, so now let me ask these people on the outside. They're on the inside first. How do all you people on the outside think everyone here on the inside did in analyzing these articles?
Good.
Really?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
I don't even know what they said.
They didn't know what they say. You were paying attention.
No, Michael was
I
paying
agree.
attention.
I agree with what you said that it was more focused.
Tom and then the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, good.
Is it?
No, yeah.
It just seems like he has
You
no
didn't-
No, ask more
What?
questions. What do you think?
Then
What
what?
was your view on two different articles? How?
The back.
Yeah, that's a pretty big. That's a pretty
I
big.
remember when
Okay.
you do that, I tried to.
Oh wow, you recorded us for 30 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay, we still got like 10 minutes of class left, so we're still gonna
No, we can just sit down and read.
no, because I want to see.
It's like this
No, I want to know. I want to sort of like
big,
wrap this
boneless
discussion up. So okay.
Spiky dragon.
So all right. So everyone's pretty much agrees with Jordan,
That's a
right?
necromancer.
Well, I had the same idea as Jordan.
Okay, everyone agrees with Jordan and Scott.
Yep.
So the idea then is that the first article is. Would you say the first article is more
Don't do
sensational?
that. It's more like mind grabbing.
Uh-huh.
He probably ran away.
Yeah. So okay. So then everyone agrees.
people. Oh, you want to
Alright. So then the idea is that the first article is sort of what you would call yellow journalism. Sort of these ideas of, and I wanted to sort of try and move into this direction, sort of looking at sort of these words that would sort of grab your attention. I think Jordan touched on some of that. Is that there are certain words in here that that sort of would grab your attention, especially. For instance, I don't know.
And the bold. All the bold really grab your attention.
Yeah, bold as well. See, and which is and it's even more apparent in the original article. Like the original article was written on this newspaper, where it had like it had the bold letters and like the big bold, and then it had different headlines like the big bold headline and the sub headline. So and that's another thing about journalism is they usually have a headline. The way it's written, it's supposed to grab your attention instantly, and then you get more information from reading the actual article. But you're supposed to like write as much information as you can in as few words as you can, to sort of get someone interested in what you're writing. So but yeah, remember when we talked about how the Maine exploded? We talked about it yesterday, and sort of like this was the catalyst or the reasoning for getting into war with Spain in regards to Cuba. So then I ask you, did these articles really accomplish their purpose?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Why is that? Okay, I'll ask Scott first and
Oh,
Well,
snap.
the first one is saying that they did it on purpose, and they kind of made that clear.
Mm-hmm.
So, the second one saying they did it on accident and explaining why they did that, which is it fulfilled its purpose. So I'm saying they both fulfilled their purpose.
Okay, so what was the purpose of the first one? What was the purpose of the second?
The first one was purpose to like saying that it was that was on purpose, and they pretty much made that clear. And the second one, well, on the first one they have no evidence, so they kind of did make it clear. But the second one, is it's making it it's making it
In a hurry.
it's making it obvious that they didn't do it on purpose because it was an accident, and there's many ways that they could have blown up.
Alright, and Jordan, you said you disagreed?
I
Why?
disagree because the first document A's purpose was to get people convinced
Don't.
that war was needed, that we needed to destroy the Spaniards. And it did succeed. But document B didn't succeed. Its goal was to calm people down and say, no, this was an accident. It didn't succeed. So only document A succeeded in what it was trying to do.
Okay. Alright. Scott,
I agree with Jordan.
Okay. Scott, do you agree now, or do you have something else you'd like to say?
No.
Well, I think
No,
the second
Scott is
article
blown away.
I still think the second article
Also,
also fulfills purpose because it's saying that it's got evidence that they didn't do it on purpose. So I think document 2, document B actually fulfill its purpose more than document A.
yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say something to add to the
Oh, I agree with Jordan.
Okay. I disagree with Scott.
Yeah.
Here, say it like it's like a bad day shot.
No, like, because of the wording that they use, I think like,
Wording which or wording both?
huh?
Wording which or in both of them?
The agreement with Jordan, what she said.
Okay. And what did she say?
How it wasn't about it was an accident.
Well, which one did it mean?
I put that on my legs. The
Hey, stop lying.
My breath. And then the paper.
Hey, stop discussing. Stop trying to distract Aaron while he's trying to have a conversation.
I don't really know which one it was.
Remember what the tone of each different one was, right?
I don't know. It just what Jordan said sounds like a little bit more better. And if it's about the one where like how the Spaniards how they were blaming them for being on purpose or if it was an accident, I think it was an accident.
Alright. Anna Whipple, since you haven't really gotten a chance to participate, what do you think? Did you get a chance to read it?
Yeah, look at
Okay.
Well, where's my paper?
Is it right here? Top or is that it?
Yeah.
Of course. Alright, so stop blowing this up.
Okay.
Thank you for printing out 3 pieces of paper.
So I think it was like an accident. That's what Jordan said.
Well, I think she said that she was talking about which one accomplished its goal or not. She said the first one did, the second one didn't.
And then the second, if they both fulfilled their goal, about one half the nation would be for and the other half would be for peace.
Yeah, but like,
But the majority
yeah, the first one like did that because like if both of them had like done pretty good, then it probably would have been like more of a debate about it. So for this one, like totally fulfilled its goal and just like blew this other one like out of the water, then that meant that there was gonna be a war and there wasn't really anything that could stop it.
Alright.
Let's do it.
Alright.
Hey, Jordan.
Wait, do we keep these or do we like?
You can keep those, this is some good information. Alright. So I guess to sum up then, the idea is that, okay, if we're going with what Jordan says, hey, everybody, everybody stop blowing over your papers.
I need to find out.
You don't do this in other classes, do you?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright.
This is why we usually don't.
So I think that's some of what Jordan said. The first one, the goal was sort of to like convince the people that we should go to war with Spain, and the second one was to say what to convince them not to. Is that what you're saying, Jordan? Alright. Alright. Now, okay, I'm just gonna do a little bit. Now that everyone's said their things, here's what I think sort of about this idea. I think Jordan's at least right about the idea that the first one is its goal is to
I'm right too. I agree with that.
Any coordination against
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Spaniards.
So you notice this because if you look at the language, there's certain words that are specifically supposed to like get your attention. The second one, I think its goal is to inform, to sort of say, okay, this is what we know, stuff like that. So while the first one is to sort of say,
Yeah, so we can't just say it was on purpose. We have to act like facts.
Yeah, I think the second one is supposed to try to present what we know, and the first one's sort of just trying to rile up your emotions.
Yeah.
So
To get you to convince them. Like,
yeah.
okay, they did this, and the other one's like, well, how can we be sure they did it?
So yeah, I think the important thing is always, and this is a good thing in general, always try to look at like the tone. Say if you see like a news article or something, or a news report, try and look at the tone of it, look for these certain words and try and say, okay, what are they trying to say here? Are they trying to inform? Are they trying to convince us, get us to do something? So I'll keep that in mind. Alright, so I like this discussion. I think I've never tried this before. I think some of this is really good. And then you guys participate, Joanne, Aaron, Scott.
Okay, I participated.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I participated. We should get participation points if every one of us participated.
Hey, can we put it away?
Frank,
go.
Oh, gosh, I'm saying.
It's fun.
Don't throw them at people. Okay, don't throw them away now.
Wait,
Okay, hold on to them until after class.
Aww.
Now you're just gonna throw them all over the
No,
place.
no, no. Like we should like have a game night.
Wait, are we allowed to throw things away?